changes. I wonder what would change. I really couldn't say. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing. I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known. Would have kept me from what I have today. I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known. Would have kept me from what I had today.
Good morning. What you doing? How are you doing? This is 1100 WSGI. I'm Utah Laverne, and this is One Street Over, and it's Monday. It's Monday, and if you've been on social media this morning, you saw how my morning started. I have a feral cat that lives in my house, and for some reason, he just thinks he needs to, he feasts on birds all the time in my house, and we'll find like feathers under the couch, and we'll be like, oh, what happened here? Well, no, he brought one in that wasn't quite succumbed to his force and got away from him, and so I had a bird flying all over my house. It may still be in there. I don't know. I finally had to just leave. I was early. Jamie Nixon's in the house, Jordan Martin's in the house. I was running early this morning to come to work because I have to go to Kentucky today, and so I'm off, and so I've got some team stuff I need to put up for my kiddos at school. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get to the studio early, and I'm going to sit down, and I'm going to get all these things done. Then a bird got in my house. So how's your Monday? Go ahead. Talk to me, guys.
Been a little bit less eventful than yours.
Yes, it's all good. It's all good. It's all fun. It's all fun and games. But anyway, so this is the first Monday. Yes, month of May. Here we go. Man, this year's going fast.
It's going super fast.
I'm just stunned. I'm just like, what happened? And so month of May is here. And as we kind of unpack it, I know Jordan's here from Fellowship of Christian Athletes. And if you don't know about this organization, you need to. We had one of the guys came in and actually talked to us at church the other night for our Missions Emphasis Month and told us, different things about it. And of course, I already knew that there were full-time people with Fellowship of Christian Athletes. And so I was kind of ahead of the game. I was like, oh, I know all this stuff. I've talked to Jordan. I've talked to Jamie. And so we've had so many people that have been through here, but I'm so impressed with the organization. I did not realize the extent of what you guys do. And I mean, let's face it, the schools are our mission field.
Absolutely.
What do you think?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What do you think, Jordan?
Come on. Y'all talk to me. I mean, I've been 3 minutes saying hi, so it's y'all's turn.
Well, we got a few minutes before we get into some sports. We can sit here and talk about what Jordan does. And Jordan's not a person who is going to go around and toot his own horn and things like that. But the activeness that he has, the active roles that he has, and in a lot of different Robertson County schools with FCA, and also Jordan sees the opportunity as being a substitute school teacher also to get into the school, and be there, and it's not necessarily, we have to watch. Oh, I'm going to watch what I say because I don't want anything to come back on Jordan. But it's not like Jordan's in the classroom, preach or anything. He's just going into the classroom to be around kids to build those relationships.
Yes.
And right now, Jordan, you're currently you're actually the chaplain at Heritage Baseball, correct?
Oh, yes, middle school.
Middle school.
Yes.
And then what other schools do you go into as far as Robertson County goes?
All of them. All of them. But if I have like a role, I do Springfield High School basketball as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And I love that. And I've seen him in the Greenbrier hallways.
Yes,
You know.
I'll go to Greenbrier.
Yeah.
I actually have a cool opportunity on Tuesday to speak to the senior class. So I'm really excited about that.
The whole class?
So, yes, all the ones that show up to they have like a little.
For the Fellowship of Christian Athletes.
No, actually, it's outside of that. They're doing it's kind of like a parade kind of thing for them, at the Speedway Park.
Okay, so that's on
yes,
Tuesday. Yeah. Well, it's so
yes.
funny you mentioned
So,
Veterans Motorplex. They're coming
yes.
back on sponsoring starting today. And so we'll talk about that in a minute. But yes, Greenbrier's Day at the racetrack is Tuesday.
Yes,
Interesting.
So,
that evening. So I'm
what
really
time?
excited.
What time are you going to be there?
I'm gonna get there probably by like 5:30 when they get there. I like
Okay.
to just be around them and
Yeah.
so be there early.
I love it. I love it. That is so special. So, and if you're not, we'll talk about the Veterans Motorplex here in a minute, but I just think it's so cool. And one thing Jamie said before we get away from this, I want to make sure we clarify something. No, we're not going in there and preaching to the kids, but when they ask questions, we're ready
Absolutely.
to give them the answer for the hope that we have, and we want them to see that they have hope as well. And I can't begin to tell you. I had one of my students the other day, Miss Vivio, what is the difference between Protestant and Catholic? I was like, okay.
Here we go.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, she didn't ask it
Yeah.
exactly like that, but something was said about who I'd had on the radio that morning. It was Jack Martin from there in Greenbrier. And if anybody knows, he's fully Irish and left to come to America as an immigrant during the Troubles between the Catholic and Protestant church. And so, I mean, that he fled for the safety of his family. And so that's how he ended up getting here. And I think that had come up in conversation to some degree. And I don't know, somebody asked me about radio. That's kind of what spurred it.
Gotcha.
But always be ready to give an answer for the hope that you have. And when they ask, we can answer, right?
Yep,
That's
absolutely.
it. Yeah. So praise the Lord, man.
It happens all the time.
The harvest is ripe, and it's just they want to know, because your story was the same. Tell them your story. How did you come to be a brother in the church?
So I was just broken. I was a broken kid that needed hope, needed a savior. Just came from a broken home life, was super depressed, and I just had a friend that just kept inviting me to come to a church camp, and I relentlessly kept saying no, but he was more relentless than me, and just kept on fighting for me, and just wanted to be around me all the time and get me around positive people, even when I was kicking and screaming. And so I just remember just going and just the Holy Spirit pursuing me. At the time I didn't know it was the Holy Spirit, but realizing now, knowing the biblical term, knowing who He is as a person now. But at the time, I just went there just for the games, went there just to hang out and see what happens. And, I went there and my life was changed. I realized, He actually forgives me, and I don't have to walk around, without a Savior and without a Father. And so it changed my life.
I love it. I love it. I love what you said. When we think people don't want to go and be a part of them, there's so many kids out there just, man, looking for a place to be.
Yes.
And you know what?
absolutely.
That gets them in the door, and then the Spirit will move on them. Mike Winger is somebody, if you haven't checked him out, go check that guy out. Wow. But his story's kind of the same. I mean, not the same, but in the sense that somebody invited him, and he was trying to get away from he had a stepfather that was just a jerk, and he was like, well, if I go to church, I'll get away from him. And he's just an amazing apologist now with a great following, just a real deep, steady guy. But when I see those stories, I was talking, when I put something up from him the other day, and you came to my mind too, of so many people that I've met that it's because somebody invited them to church. And so many of us just don't think, who can I invite to church? And we just forget to do that. It's just such a powerful story.
Well, I tell our youth all the time, we're both active at our church, Wednesday nights with our youth. And I tell students all the time, I was like, hey, it's all great. If you want to go to school and you want to witness and you want to tell people about Jesus, that's great. He said, I tell these students, I said, but one of the things that you can do is just invite them to come have fun.
Yes.
I said, let the youth pastor, let Pastor Matt Stewart tell them about Jesus. I said, you just be, and, I'm not saying that you have to go around preaching every day. I said, but your friends really should see how you live it out, not how you talk it out.
Yep.
And if you live it out and you're constantly, what as Jordan said, his friend was a little bit more relentless than he was.
Yes.
Just be relentless of that invitation. Just always make sure that your friends know that they're welcome at your church or whatever. And also FCA huddles. I mean, things that are at your school,
Absolutely.
because I'm gonna go ahead and give Jordan a shameless plug. You go to fca.org / what is your website?
I'm Jordan Martin.
Jordan Martin, okay? fca.org / Jordan Martin. You can go there and you can donate because he is a missionary. He has to raise funds in order to pay his salary. And so that's what we need for you, for the public to do that, because Jordan is going in with huddles. He's going in there at ball games. He's going to practices. He's pouring into coaches, not just students. But, the FCA model is one that says, hey, we're going to pour into coaches because coaches have a lot of time with their student
Better
athletes.
believe it.
They have more time than we do.
Yeah.
And sometimes, a lot of parents and things see what Jordan does as far as, oh, okay, he's there with my kid or he's there with my kid's friends. It's like that. But they really don't sometimes see what they do with the coaches, and so that's just really, something that's really amazing, and what they do, and of course the staff, you have Andrew Fortner, who's over this area, his wife, Maddie, and, we could just go down the whole list of people that are at different schools and things like that. But yes, once again, fca.org / Jordan Martin, that he is a local missionary.
Go and be a part of that. And I love that you started out talking about how you're going to be with the kids tomorrow. You've got something, you've got stuff on your calendar all week, don't you?
Absolutely.
I love that. I love that. And we're going to unpack a little bit more of that. But since you mentioned the Veterans Motorplex, formerly known as Highland Rim, welcome them back to the program as one of our advertisers. We felt like they would come back on as soon as the season started. They're underway. They have racing on Saturday. The pit gates open at noon. Grandstands at 4. Racing starts at 6. It's a $15 ticket. Family pass of $40 will get you 2 adults and up to 6 minor kids. So they've still got that deal going on. Just go and check out the best way. I was talking to Jerry yesterday, I think. We text. Nobody talks anyway. We text. And I said, can I just check the Facebook page for content? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. So I know one of the things that they're doing right now, besides the Saturday race, and everybody wants to get out to the races, is they're doing all the things with the seniors. I know tomorrow night is Greenbriers, and they have an opportunity for all the seniors to come out and do a little parade. And I kind of think that started from COVID, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. He may have done that prior to that, but it was almost like the kids didn't have a way to do any kind of a procession. And so he bring them out to the speedway. I love this guy. Jerry is one of these guys that's constantly wanting to pour into the city, to the county, to all these kids, especially. Just a great guy. So get out there and see some racing. They're going to be Saturday nights, March through October, and you don't want to miss it. 6801 Kelly Willis Road in Greenbrier. You can go again to Highland Rim Speedway at Facebook, and they've changed the name to Veterans Motorplex, but you'll know you there. If you go to Highland Rim Speedway, go and check them out and thank them for sponsoring our thing we got going on, One Street Over. And getting back into it, let's get right to it. So what else have we got going on, guys?
Well, I got some sports. I got some updates coming from Springfield from Terrence Summers, Social Dweebs, and also I got an update from Voice of the Bobcats, Jim Sorrells. Talked to those guys yesterday. And I said, hey, guys, I'm going on the radio again, first of the month. I got an hour to cover, so I need some information. Jackets. The Lady Jackets softball team is 12-4. They play at Lebanon today. And then the Jackets baseball team, 4-15, they will be in the district tournament versus West Creek on Wednesday. So that's the baseball coming up for the Yellow Jackets. Also, Clarence Cobbins has received a football scholarship from Eastern Kentucky from Springfield. So congratulations to Clarence, and he will be continuing his education and his athletic progress, or his athletic career, I should say, at the Eastern Kentucky University. And Jackets spring football is getting ready to gear up. And with that being said, East Robertson spring football starts today. So the Indians, coming off their best season ever, will be starting spring practice today. The Robertson County softball home run derby was this past weekend, and now the lady's name is escaping me, but her last name is Head, and I will figure that out before the end of the show. But she's from Springfield, and she was rocking them. So it was really good. It's live. You can go to East Robinson Athletics and watch that live, and we had players participating from a lot of different schools. And then let me jump down here and tell you guys what Jim said. Now, Jim wrote me a book. Jim's like a writer. And so Jim's got a lot to say, so I'm going to get all this Greenbrier information in really quick. He started this text out, says, "Here you go. Greenbrier baseball is hitting their stride after starting off the season a little less than rocky. Currently sitting at 15-9, the Cats have won 9 straight, including 12 of the last 13. Finishing in third in the regular season, they will play District 9 AAA play in game versus Liberty Creek at Greenbrier Tuesday night. So Liberty Creek will play at Greenbrier district game on Tuesday night. Win and they'll advance, lose, they go home. The tournament moves to Portland for the remainder on Wednesday night. So if Greenbrier wins, then they'll play on Tuesday night. They'll play again Wednesday night in Portland. Earlier this week, these players were named to the regular season District 9 3A honorees list. Brady Nepper, hope I'm saying that, Player of the Year. Jacob Conquest, Co-Pitcher of the Year. Ethan Williams, Batting Champion / All-District Team. Dalton Wilbur, All-District Team. Hunter Brown, All-District Team. Other fun things, Jim says. Coach Scott Hunt picked up his 275th coaching win a couple weeks back, and Ethan Williams was also named valedictorian. Greenbrier softball continues their dominant ways as well. These girls have been on a hot streak as of late. Winners now of 8 in a row, 12 of the last 13, and most recently knocked off a strong 4A team in Beach. They have laid claim to another regular season District 9 3A title and will wrap the regular season up on the road tonight, which is Monday, at Wilson Central. Ranked either top 5 by Max Preps or number 7 by Coach T, the Lady Cats defense and pitching has led the team, only allowing 56 runs to their whopping 201 scored. Lady Cat ace Laura Walker shut down the last 3 teams she faced with 36 strikeouts over the course of those 3 contests. 24-4-1, 9-1 in District 9 3A. The lone loss was Creekwood. The Lady Cats are the number 1 overall seed and also host site for the tournament at Greenbrier High School. The action gets underway Wednesday night with number 3 Montgomery Central taking on number 6 Portland at 5:30, then Liberty Creek taking on White House at 7:30. Full bracket and coverage on Voice of the Bobcats on Facebook, at Voice of Cats TN on Twitter. The tournament will run through the next week with awards and anticipated championship game on Wednesday, May 10th. The Lady Cats first round game will be Thursday night, playing either Liberty Creek or White House. Then he says, finally, the Bobcat Soccer Club is sitting at 6-3-4, 3-1-1 in the season in district, heading into district tournament play. They will be the number 2 seed, final 2 regular season games on the road. East Robinson on Tuesday, which is tomorrow, May 2nd, and McGavick on Wednesday, May the 3rd.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's quite the article. That's
Yeah.
good enough for the paper,
I know.
I think.
So I just asked Jim, and Jim's going to, I think Jim writes like he speaks. He's,
That's just it. That's
Thanks a
funny.
lot, yeah.
But it was great. I appreciate the update because it updated me because, I've
Right,
not
right.
gotten involved in extracurricular. I'm still trying to figure out where everything is in the building, y'all. But it blows my mind how quickly the season starts and it's almost over.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it moves really fast.
Yeah, it
Baseball and softballs
does.
move really fast because it starts, you got that springtime, you got
Yeah.
rain, and then all of a sudden it's like, it's the hardest thing. One of the things that I do is I cover East Robinson sports, and I haven't really, just due to work and some other things, it's been really hard for me to cover any baseball and softball games, and it's just one of those things where it's like,
Yeah.
wow. It's like, it just seemed like it started last week. Now it's almost over.
Yeah.
Exactly. So have you gotten to many of the baseball, softball games?
Yes, I've been able to go to many baseball games, a few softball games. But since I was more tied down to Heritage Middle School baseball, since I was their character coach, now since their season's over, unfortunately,
Yeah.
I will be going to other teams as well.
Right. Now that's one thing about
Yes.
character coaches is whenever your other team's not playing, you can always branch out and see the other teams too. But,
Absolutely.
you
I
know,
said chaplain earlier. I meant character coach.
yeah.
Speaking of which, character coach, like how many character coaches do you have right now?
You just read my mind.
Yes, I need many more.
Yeah.
I didn't ask you how many you need. How many you got?
Yes, I have about 4 or 5 really amazing ones at East, and then I have probably 3 at Heritage. We have a few at Springfield, and probably 4 I think at Joe Burns. In Greenbrier we need desperate help.
Really?
Desperate help. Michelle Gregory's killing it.
Yeah.
But she
You
needs
need
help.
character
so,
coaches for the
yes,
teams.
Absolutely.
Oh my
yes.
gosh. I did not
yes.
realize we had a shortage at
Yes,
Greenbrier.
White House, we have a few.
Throw it down.
But yes, we need character coaches everywhere.
So where do you have, what slots do you have filled at Greenbrier?
At Greenbrier,
You know what teams are covered?
my understanding, we have someone with the softball team, but they
Okay.
need a little bit extra help as well.
Okay.
But that's about really it. And
Okay, so let's stop right now. Everybody that's watching, okay, or that you're going to watch throughout the day, share this. Share this to people, the people of Greenbrier. Okay, I'm not trying to be mean.
Well,
I'm
we're
not-
calling you out,
we're
and I'm
calling you
there.
out.
So, yeah.
We need some adults to step up, be character coaches of some of these high school teams
Yes.
and middle school teams, right?
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Greenbrier Middle School only has a few pastors that come in there.
Okay.
So
And you don't have to be a preacher. You absolutely don't. You have to. I mean, if you're somebody that just has a passion for the word and bringing souls to Jesus, then you qualify. And here's the thing: just wanting to love on these kids and show them the reason for the hope that you have, y'all. We
Yes.
just kind of keep coming back. There's so many people. There was one of the preachers I follow this weekend did a sermon on hope, and at first I thought, oh, of course, it's going to be the traditional hope. Wow, he brought it, and it was just powerful, and it just really kind of recommitted me to helping people find their hope again, and it's just, that's where the peace lies, is when you find your hope and you understand that there is reason to hope. There is reason. The preacher that I was listening to, he kept saying, you hear the saying, don't get your hopes up. Don't get your hopes up. He goes, if that's where you are, you're walking with the wrong team, because we are hope. I mean, we are dispensers of hope. And I just love that. Yeah. But, well, what else have you got going on your schedule? We know you're going to be out with the Bobcats for the senior run around the veterans track, the Veterans Speedway tomorrow night. Now, are you going to go out there for any of the others? Do you have any of the others on schedule?
No, I'll probably hit their graduations.
Okay.
When that time comes.
Graduation's coming up quick.
I know. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I look forward to seeing, a lot of the guys and, females that I was able to connect with.
That's awesome.
Celebrate, what they have accomplished. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, if you haven't been keeping track, the seniors in Robertson County, the last day is a week from Friday.
I know, it's crazy.
A week from Friday. I'm going to miss those kids. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. I've got a whole bunch of them I've gotten super close to, and I am going to miss them. It's a hard thing, but I tell you what, we're going to pause because we've added Veterans Motorplex to the list, and so we've got several other ads we need to run. But so we're going to pause just for a second and go ahead and talk about my friends, Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts and Gardening Center. I was out there yesterday, and I had to go pick up my CBD oil. If you've not discovered the benefits of CBD oil, oh my goodness, it just is a game changer. It helps me tremendously with my arthritis, and it could help you as well. And when you go out to Corbin, go inside the store in the little building. People think that's an office. Well, they've got handmade items in there. That's where they have all their CBD products. And Miss Jane, I was talking with Miss Jane yesterday. I've got some of her pot holders, best pot holders and things for my kitchen I've ever owned. So well made. I absolutely love them. And they've got the little cozies you stick in the microwave to bring out your dish so you don't burn your hands on it. But just great stuff. I picked up some aloe. I had a little grease fire yesterday, and I realized I need some aloe. I'm out of aloe. So I went out and got some new aloe. If you haven't figured that out, for burns, you just can't beat it. You break off a piece of aloe, it's the best thing ever. But so many things are taken care of. They were hopping yesterday. It was busy. There were people coming out there. If you need bedding plants for your garden, you better get going because they're liable to sell out. But two, they're going to have their big customer appreciation day is going to be on May 13th. You want to get out there. They're going to have a planting station for the kiddos, free hot dogs. They'll open up at 9 o'clock. Just so many beautiful things for your yard, for your home. Definitely the bedding plants for your garden. And you can go by and see them. They're open from 10 to 4. They'll be there at 9 on Customer Appreciation Day. But they're at 4920 Highway 161 right here in Robertson County. Our favorites, Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts and Gardening Center. Give them a call, 615-384-3185, 615-384-3185. Please always let them know that U-Turn sent you. Talking with Jordan Martin, Jamie Nixon, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, absolutely one of our themes today. Also doing a recap of the things going on in the county with our athletes. As we get close to the end of school, I'm not ready. Oh my gosh, I've still got so much to do. It is not even funny. I'm like all the other teachers, just terribly busy. What do you want to talk about next? My friends, where are we going to go?
Well, I'm going to talk about, I just had somebody text in, they were listening, and I think I got somebody maybe that will support FCA and also
Awesome.
just, and he's from here in Greenbrier graduate, Trent Key with Key Heating and Cooling.
Yeah.
So like for all your heating and cooling needs, I hope that doesn't.
Go. No, you're fine. You're fine. Go right ahead.
Yeah. For all your heating and cooling needs, I think that's great because I think Jordan does a really good job of people and businesses that support him. And I know Trent's doing a lot of stuff around the area. Trent actually, it was really cool. He actually did something with, he bought bottled waters and labeled them with his logo and the QR code for his website. And he also bought popcorn bags and all popcorn and for
What a great idea.
for Heritage basketball, I think, or football. And so people were walking around with,
What a great idea.
yeah. And so, and then that way he bought all the popcorn and all the water. So the profit was 100% profit for them.
Mm-hmm. That's great. What a great idea.
That's really good.
I love that. And getting your message out there. I love it. That's awesome. But if you want to be a part, Jamie's put some information up here. Andrew Fortner, I know that young man. His family has been at Madison for a long time, and he's just a great young man. And he was the first one when they said that he was full-time with Fellowship of Christian. I was like, you can,
You're like,
yeah, you can do that? I'm like, what? That's a job? And what an amazing job. We support missionaries all over the world. And we just, I think, have really until recently have forgotten about what's right in our back door. There's so many mission opportunities. And you can't go in there and preach to the kids. No, you can't, but you can answer their questions and you can just display the life that's full of hope. And
there's always things that you have up here in Robertson County, and they have them everywhere. I mean, it's really, but we're talking about our county, so we have a Robertson. We actually have two of the banquets. We have one really in the White House area for like East Robertson Heritage, and the White House schools, which kind of clips over to Sumner County because Andrews, they include White House. The Blue Devils, because it's so close. And then in Springfield at the center, I remember Rudy Kalis has spoke at it.
what an amazing
Rich Bird,
testimony.
from Belmont, he has spoke at it. And so they do it, so they do one in Springfield. And there's so many ways for people to give. We have a FCA golf scramble.
Yeah.
Which coming up when?
Next week, next Thursday.
Thursday.
Yes.
So, if you guys want to donate money to that or sponsor a hole, I don't know what, once again, contact Andrew. I put his phone number down there. But I would tell you that like Nashville just had their golf scramble, and ServPro, the company is a huge supporter of FCA. Well, ServPro is also a huge supporter and they're an endorser of Brent Snedeker, the professional golfer. And through that foundation, I think they were down there and they gave $5,000. They just wrote which to some companies, to some people it's like, well, that's a lot of money. To some companies, hey, that's not a lot of money. But when you get a bunch of companies that are coming together, dropping $5,000, $10,000 checks, $2,000 checks, it pays the staff.
You bet.
Like Jordan wakes up and what he has to do today all revolves around leading students to Christ.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not like, I don't want to downplay youth pastors by no means, but youth pastors have those 2 days really, and then they're trying to facilitate those days to get in the schools, and sometimes it gets harder and harder. Our area, not so much, but just different school systems, it's harder for somebody from a church staff to go eat lunch, to go do this. These guys have, I hate to say it this way, but they have a yellow brick road, to these coaches and to these students.
Absolutely.
Yep.
But it comes from the funding of other people.
Yeah.
And it's an opportunity. I get the question so many times because I've dipped my toe in the political waters, and because I've been in the media. And for some people, people that have done the kind of things I've done in my career, everybody thinks we know stuff, and they'll go, "What can we do? Our country's blah blah blah, and what can we do?" What you can do is get involved in the next generation's lives, and you can just be the hands and feet of Jesus for the kids coming up, and then in turn you'll get the opportunity to be the hands and feet of Jesus to their families a lot of the times,
yes.
because stories like yours, and you have probably influenced a few people in your family to Jesus. Would that be a fair statement?
Yes.
Yes, I think so. I think I remember that in your story. The guy that I mentioned earlier, absolutely, same story there. Let me ask you this. Have you had a situation, because what Jordan will do is he is, a missionary for the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and he works that part of his career, but he'll also substitute teach. And because I think you probably have the reputation in the schools that know you better that, well, that's that Jesus guy. Some of the kids that aren't, you know what I mean? But have you ever had a situation where somebody that you've not had in athletics has come to you because they know who you are? Otherwise, have you had that situation and said, "Hey, I don't know you, but I just think you're a person I need to talk to"? Have you had that happen yet?
Absolutely.
I knew. I figured you had. So you know how you just feel the spirit and spirit. I just feel like, okay. Ask this question. Do you have anything you can share specifically, or because I would think how important is that there's a young person out there that's not an athlete, that you've never met, but because they know that's that Jesus guy, they know where to turn when they feel hopeless.
Yeah. If I've been in the schools other than, because I do stuff sometimes in Sumner County, but majority I'm just in Robertson County. But I try my very best to make sure every child feels known, every student feels known. So when I'm in the classroom with them or in the hallway, like, I want them to know, like, I see them.
Yeah.
And so just, there's kids that I may have not been intentional with or been able to be around a lot. But yes, there's been many times where kids have asked me questions about faith, have asked me questions about Jesus, asked me questions like, why do you do what you do? And just asked me so many questions. I just remember one day I was at a basketball game at East Robertson, and this young man just really just wanted to, like, hang out with me. And so I was like, okay, let's just hang out together, man. And I knew him briefly, and I seen him around, but I just didn't know him too well. And so he just was asking me tons of questions, just tons of questions about faith, just asking me, just different things. And it just, in the moment, like, I was like, why does this kid ask me so many questions? But then I realized, man, he wants to be known. He's so curious for truth and wants the real deal.
Yeah.
And so I was just able to just share and love up on him. And we still talk to this day.
That's awesome. And you have no idea the seed you're planting. You have no idea the seed you're planting in that young person's life.
And see, sometimes Jordan's about to get mad at me. Sometimes it's those stories, and it's the ones that we don't know and that we might not ever know until we're in eternity. I think one of the hardest parts of his job is that he can't be all places.
True. Yeah.
And I think sometimes there's coaches that get it, there's parents that get it, and anytime that you are around people that get it, there's also people who don't get it. And there's people that become critical. Well, you only do this or you only do that, and let me tell you that I can speak for, like, my perception on, or how I feel about Andrew Fortner and Jordan Martin, the two people that I know personally that's here in Robertson County, probably two of the most selfless people that I know. Not doing it for the money, not doing it for any type of clout or any type of fame or any type of anything. They just truly want people to know Christ.
Mm-hmm.
And if anybody was to say anything different, hey, they can come talk to me. I'll tell them in a way that where Jordan's really nice, but there are times where certain people just they have a perception and they have said some not so nice things, but Jordan doesn't let it get to him. He just keeps on keeping on, and he's trying to win souls for the kingdom.
Anybody that's worked in ministry, you always have some nice not things said about you. And I mean, this conversation actually came up with my husband and I as we were leaving church yesterday. And I don't know, something was said about this person or that person and what they do and how they do it. And just he made a general statement about working in ministry. And I was like, stop right. And it wasn't anything terrible, but it was almost like, well, basically the hours they work or something like that. I said, do you not understand? And I've told him this many times. I said, when you take on a full-time ministry role, especially, you feel like you're never off the clock. Never. Yeah. Because when I was full-time, if somebody called me from my congregation, if I possibly could, I don't care what time of the day it was, I felt like I should pick it up. I felt like I should pick up the phone. And it is a constant. It is a constant being on call feeling when you have saying you're going to take Jesus's money and work full time. And trust me, they don't make a whole lot. And it is just such a calling, and it is such a conviction. And you feel like you're on call all the time, don't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're afraid to not take that call.
Yep. Something you don't know about me. I'm a seminary graduate, master's in Christian education.
You had mentioned that. I had forgotten, but yes.
And so when I was a youth pastor, if a kid was to call late at night, like, no, I'm not going to help you. I mean, it's like if there's a kid calling or something like that, or a parent who calls. I mean, we've both got to. I mean, me a long time ago. I'm getting old, but Jordan has parents calling him and saying, "Hey, I want you to." My kid's going through this, or me and my kid had this conversation, when next time you see him, talk to him, talk to him. And, it's one of those things where you feel like you're always on call.
Yeah.
And the hardest thing about that, Jordan is single, but when you are married, your spouse has to take on that role as well. Your spouse has to understand, hey, that if somebody calls that, and that's one of the hardest things about ministry is because we want to help them all. Everybody wants to help them all. You realize you can't. Number one, you don't save anybody, but with lack of a better term, you can't save them all. That's the reason why we need more people.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's the reason why we need more. Like I love these sporting games. I love going to high school games. I love the high school atmosphere. I love seeing coaches and players. I just love people accomplishing things in our area. But more importantly, those teams, when they get together afterwards and they're in the middle of the field and they're praying, and they understand that there's a higher power, that, we got coaches who are kingdom focused, players who are kingdom focused. And it's because you have this what's the word I'm trying to say here? I'm sorry, but you have this presence of FCA being on the campus and helping them take that to another level. So believe me, guys, it's like whether you donate straight to Jordan as a missionary, you can donate to Andrew Fortner. You can just call up FCA, go to FCA. You can on Facebook, go to Scott Cooper, go to Jason McCormick. You go straight to the top of some of these higher ranking people and say, I just want to spend money and I want the money to be used inside Robertson County. And that will happen.
And they'll make sure.
And on top of the money side of it, we just need volunteers.
Yes,
we definitely need volunteers.
Well, and I mean, this is just has been coming up to me constantly is in Matthew 9, where Jesus said, he's looking out and says, the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. And that's the constant calling, is the laborers are few. Everybody, it's their job. Well, they're full time, and we absolutely need your money. That's one thing in ministry, there's a limitless amount of things that can be done with your finances that come into the ministry. But we need your time too. And that's one thing I'm struggling to find because now that I'm not full time, I still get, I'm part time, but trying to find my volunteer hours now, you know? I've got to get back into that volunteer, and so I'm working on that because and my mother, all people in my life, Laverne, know his word, but you just, man, I just have so much I want to do. So many things I want to be a part of. I want to be a character coach. Now, I can't do it today.
whoa.
No, I do.
on
Wait
now.
a second. Wait a
I
second.
do.
She said the magic words.
I do.
I
I want
know
to be a
you
character
do.
coach.
We'll get you signed up.
Well, see, I know, but I can't do it today.
Yeah, you
But
can do it next.
fall.
Yes, in the fall. We'll
the
get
fall.
you signed
In
up.
the
and
fall.
everything.
Great girls
Yeah.
basketball coach.
Well, I need
y'all
to be a
be
character
character
coach,
coach
and
for
so I
girls
just my
basketball.
husband's going Laverne,
Yeah.
but yeah, I need to be a
Get
character
you guys to
coach.
sign up together and serve together.
My husband,
Yeah, seriously.
Ooh.
Look at the Lord.
That is,
Yeah,
yeah.
look at God.
That is
he's
something-
like Laverne, quit volunteering me for stuff. Yeah,
Yes,
I
especially-
could go down a big
yeah.
old rabbit hole with my dear husband. I volunteer him for
there is-
stuff all the time, and he's like, quit.
there is something that, and I'll let Jordan speak to this a little bit more. When I met Jordan, he started Jordan came to us from Knoxville,
Yeah,
and he came to our church. And he came to our church because he knew our pastor who had came in, who, by the way, our pastor at one time was Scott Cooper, who started Life Center Church. And then Scott went on to be, I think he's over like Tennessee, Alabama. I mean,
He's a president. He's a vice president now. So.
He is.
he's saying, "Done, you're hired." Yeah,
Is Scott already
he's,
on
on,
there?
he's already on here.
I
love
tagged him.
Scott.
It's so funny.
But then our pastor who came in after Scott had this relationship with Jordan, and and over the it just a little bit about me really quick. Last year, and 1st of June, I lost my brother. In the same week that I lost my brother, we moved. We closed on a new house, a house that we definitely did not need, but it was one of those things. The housing market was crazy. We had there was this land in this house that we couldn't understand why it was priced so low.
Yeah,
It was sitting on the market, and it was because I guess it was too big. I have no idea really. And me and my wife, we prayed about it. We're like, how are we going to use this? And then all of a sudden, she came home one day and she goes, I think we're supposed to ask Jordan Martin to live with us so he don't have to pay rent, and so I'm telling you right now, I was like, I put my money where my mouth is.
yeah, you do.
I support him financially. He lives at our house. He's become part of our family. He's around our children, and our children love him. He takes my son Ryan, who's 17, who goes to station camp because that's where his dad is. Lives, but Ryan has Down syndrome, and Ryan just adores Jordan. And so. Jordan will take him to ball games, things that he doesn't have to do because he has a job to do, but then he's out there with Ryan and you're putting Ryan, and the rest of my family around a godly person, around a godly man, another great example. And I just think that's the model of what FCA is supposed to do. It's supposed to just come alongside churches, come alongside coaches, students, parents, and they're just there to help. At the same time, trying to win souls for the kingdom.
I love it. I love it. Just such a great thing. If you've not gotten involved with Fellowship of Christian Athletes, it's time. Get on board and be a part of all that they have going on. We're going to pause, take another break here. One street over, sponsored by so many of our wonderful partners. Cumberland Connect, one of them. Be sure and check out Cumberland Connect. If you do not have high-speed internet, it's time. If you are a Cumberland Electric customer, well, good news, you're going to have the opportunity to sign up for high-speed internet. If they're not in your neighborhood already, they're headed that way. You can find out by calling 1-800-987-2362, 1-800-987-2362, or go to cumberlandconnect.org, cumberlandconnect.org. Put in your information, put in your zip code, and they'll say, hey, we're there. We can come and set you up right away. Or you may be one of the last ones like Senator Kerry Roberts. No, they're not playing favorites. Our state senator, he is going to be one of the last ones because he was fairly well served where he lives. They started in the outlying areas, tried to take care of the underserved, and and move on in. And so there's a map, a very specific map of how they are taking care of this. So go to cumberlandconnect.org, put in your info, and they may be about to knock on your door. Now, if you're somebody that's struggling financially and you say, I can't afford basic internet. Well, there's an affordable connectivity program providing qualifying households with monthly credit to help pay for internet services. And if you're eligible, you can possibly receive credit of up to $30 per month toward broadband services. Guess what? They have some $30 packages. Connect with them at Cumberland Connect today, and always let them know that U-Turn sent you, and thank them for being one of our sponsors here at One Street Over. All right, continuing with our conversation about all things sports. This is the first Monday of the month, so Jamie comes in with different guests from time to time. Jordan has been this is about your third time in here, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, and the door is always open. So thankful that you guys come in, and they also come in. We have a sports moment on the Thursday morning from 7 to 7:30. Now, you gave up your time last week for Dr. Causey because he had to do kind of an overview of what was going on with the charter schools. So, and we'll get more from him next Tuesday. I think, next Tuesday.
I'm trying to stockpile some favors from Dr. Causey. So
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Absolutely. If you don't know our director of schools, you need to get to know him. He's a real dude, and he's a good guy. Be nice to him. He's my friend.
I'm a board member out there at White House Chamber. And, he came out the other day to do the state of Robertson County for the White House Chamber, and it was him, Mayor Vogel, and the new economic development, Vonda Davis.
Yes, I've met her. What a sweetheart! But I've got to have her on. That's a good reminder.
And it was so cool because Dr. Causey was sitting there talking, and we've had just small conversations, and he's like, he looked over at me. He goes, Jamie is like, I was like, oh, hey, okay, I'm moving up the ranks a little bit. He knows my first name, So,
he's such a real dude.
He is.
He really is.
He is great, and I can't imagine the job.
I can't either.
The scrutiny, and I think that he tries. I think at the very end of the day, every kid is the focus. I just wish more people. I just wish we would be more supportive.
Mm-hmm.
And more positive. And use different platforms. And I got to watch what I say because I got something new coming, Laverne, that you're going to love.
Okay. I'm excited.
All right. Stay positive. Staypositive.news. I'm just going to leak that out a little bit. That's going to be the website.
I love it.
It's coming. We're going to have a positive news media platform.
I love it.
Really good.
Not going to chase ambulances. Not going to talk about certain things. Looking for advertisers and things like that, but we're going to have a positive news outlet that's coming. I'll have a lot more information for you next Thursday.
Fabulous.
But anyways, I say this all the time. You've heard me say this, when people talk, and I hate to even compare this, social media and firearms, but guns don't kill people. People kill people.
Mm-hmm.
And social media is not evil. People are evil. And if you would take your energy, the same energy that you want to get all riled up on hip Greenbrier and hip White House and hip Springfield and hip whatever, for all that energy you want to, and just make sure that everybody knows your opinion. How about everybody knows you love people?
Yeah.
How about using that same energy for positive?
Yep.
And the world would be such a different place.
Mm-hmm. Amen. I say amen. I refer back to, there's a quote that I learned of from during the time of World War II that a rabbi said, be aware of any Christian that spends more time telling you what they're against rather than what they're for. You just tell the world what you're for, and they're going to know what you're against, the darkness. Yeah. And you just keep talking about being for the light and be for the light, and the darkness is going to get pushed down. So
absolutely.
I love it. So we've got about 10 minutes. I got one more spot to do. Yes. Where are we going to go next? He's got some stuff. Let's go. Yes. Come on, Jordan.
Maddie Fortner does a fantastic job with all our female sports.
Okay.
She has started FCA Chosen Nights. So any parents out there, or any students, you probably shouldn't be watching this, but you may be watching. I encourage them to get plugged into that.
Mm-hmm.
If you go on Instagram, you can follow along, with all that she is doing, all the updates on FCA, Chosen Nights. But it's just incredible what God is doing in that ministry and what God's doing through those nights. of young ladies just encountering Jesus.
I love
and
it.
real love and having a safe place to come, because me and Andrew and all the male staff that we have, we're very selective, and it's hard to reach females.
Yeah.
Because we can't talk to them about certain things, and Maddie can talk to them about all things. So it's just incredible what she's doing. So
Well, see, and that's just, I love this because that's another reason why I need to sign up to be a character coach, because you need girls.
we do,
And
absolutely.
see, and when I met Michelle at Greenbrier, I was like, I can't get involved because y'all meet in the morning while I'm doing radio. Well, I didn't even know what a character coach was then. And, since getting to know you, I have just felt, okay, I got to be a character coach. And I don't know exactly.
Practices with freeze pops and just you get to talk to them after practice. You
Yeah.
don't have to be there
For
in the
real.
mornings.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Bring them some drinks. I'm telling
Well,
you.
that's
bring
the
them some
thing.
drinks.
I'll talk to
Popsicles.
Michelle and we'll figure out where I need to plug in. But so there you go.
Yep.
And what is it? So Chosen Nights, does it have to do with The Chosen? Are they showing the movie, or are they just playing? Or because we've got the series The Chosen.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched it, go watch it right now. I mean, you need to watch it. You just got to watch The Chosen if you haven't watched The Chosen.
Well, I would
But-
post this picture down in the comments, but Jordan has made his phone impossible to screenshot in this case. But anyways, we will get this. But FCA Chosen Nights, May 7th from 6 to 8 p.m. Now listen to this.
Okay.
This is how organic this is going to be. Maddie Bird I don't know if this was her idea, but this is awesome. FCA Chosen Nights, May the 7th from 6 to 8 p.m., 506 Hester Drive in White House. Meet in the grass field. We're not meeting in a building. We're not. Just go out in the middle. There's an address. This is going to take you to this field. Just go out there, and we're all going to hang out there in this field.
I guess they're not watching The Chosen if they're in the grass field. That's fabulous.
Yeah, well, and some of the thing about The Chosen, when it comes to girls, it also has another meaning, and I don't want to speak too much, Maddie, but it's about being chosen, about being chosen.
Absolutely.
People, about, I still think that the church has done a good job, can do a better job. Everybody can do a better job of taking care of our females,
Amen.
protecting our sisters, our daughters, and our mothers.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Amen. Amen.
It's
As
on
one,
identity.
I'll say amen.
On identity, and but yeah, and
Very
there's
good.
not like 3 girls coming. We're talking about like 40 to 50 girls coming.
The one
I love it.
The one in East Robinson was almost like 70, right?
Yeah, it's close to that.
It
So
was
yeah,
at the Robertson room over there one night. It was like 70 girls come there worship and having prayer. And
I love it.
was
shout out to Alyssa Eden
Hunger.
Insurance.
It's a hunger, y'all. It is a hunger. These kids are hungry for this. I sense it when I'm in the classroom. They know I'm a safe place to ask questions about faith, and I don't volunteer it. But if they ask, I'm going to walk through that open door. And if you will show and display, we've got somebody that's got some struggles in our family right now with some health issues. And when I was talking, it kind of came to fruition in the middle of class one day. And the kids are like, "Oh, Miss Vivio, that's terrible." And I was like, I don't have any doubt where my loved ones are, And I mean, we know what happens next. So I said, "Thank you, but we'll be fine. We trust." And they just kind of looked at me perplexed, and they just don't have any concept of that. And it's just breathtaking to me. The reason for the hope that you have, always be ready. Let's go ahead and pause and let's do our final break, and we'll come back and reset. I'm talking about Barry and Rebecca Riches with the Exit Realty Garden Gate Team Save. Third weekend in May, we are going to be at the Kilgore Station Park, and Cross Plains for the Kilgore Station Bluegrass Festival. They are one of the sponsors. Barry's on the board that brings us the festival. It's going to be awesome. And you'll have an opportunity to sit with them. They'll have a tent out there, and you can sit around the table with them, talk about all things real estate, whether it be you need a marketer. Barry's a marketer. He came out of a marketing background, and he will make sure if you're selling property, it's a little bit tougher out there right now. Well, the one thing you want to make sure is that you've got a good marketing plan when it comes to showing your property to other people. You got great pictures, you got video, you maybe have some drone footage. Rebecca's she's been in this a long time, one of the first in the area to be a seniors real estate specialist. She's studying, staying on top of it, and want to invite you in to be a realtor. It's a great market to work in, and the Exit Realty Garden Gate team would love to mentor you into real estate. So go and talk to them. You can, and you don't have to wait until the Kilgore Station Bluegrass Festival. You can call Becky at 615-504-7425. 615-504-7425. Connect with them at sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or buy BUY, robertsoncounty.com. They specialize in Robertson County properties, but they also buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line in Kentucky. Talk to them today and be sure and thank them for sponsoring One Street Over. All right, gentlemen, we've got 7 minutes. What else you want to talk about? We've got things to, go ahead.
I'm going to Terrence Summers, if you're listening, we're going to give you another option, another chance this Thursday to call in. We're going to try this again.
Yeah.
Social dweebs. He's like, he's like, man, I totally dropped the ball. So I'm not putting you on blast right now. Just a little challenge, Terrence, and I'm going to tag you down here in the comments. But yes, definitely, hopefully get Springfield come on here.
Sounds good.
And then at the same time, I was going to talk to you about getting Jim to call in, but once again, still looking for that person from Adams, from Joe Burns, that could give us a little bit. And then I look forward to the week after next having Lopez.
Oh, wonderful! Rich is coming back in.
Gosh,
Rich Lopez, yes,
boy,
the man
Rich is coming back
himself.
Yeah.
And his son AJ, he has one son that's playing college baseball at Spalding.
Uh-huh.
His other son AJ just committed. So,
Oh, how cool is
they're gonna
that?
have both boys
Yeah.
playing together again up at Spalding University. I believe that's in Indiana.
Oh, very good. That'll be awesome. Isn't that fun? I mean, when these kids get to go on and play in college, it's just so much fun. And I just love seeing the athletes and all it means to them. Our soccer guys, we have had Miss Howard. She picked up and is I would have loved to have gone and been a part of the soccer, because I had some of my students that play soccer, and it's just, how much time do we have left in soccer? Is it just about round down?
It's coming to an end.
It's coming to an end, isn't it? How many more games do we have? I know they had senior night
Well,
last week for the Greenbrier guys.
They're about to go into tournaments for district tournaments. So,
Yeah.
you know.
That's what I thought. So we're coming up. It's tournament time. It's graduation time. It is tournament time. It is going to be busy over the next month. It is the month of May. My goodness. From the month of May for my family is crazy busy, because my twins were born in May. My granddaughter was born in May. I have a son and daughter-in-law that got married in May. It's like, it is a busy, busy time, but it is a wonderful time as things start warming up and the spring just really keeps springing and getting bigger and fuller and falling into summer, and so many things that'll be going on. Do y'all have what do y'all do during the summer with FCA? Do you?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
It's a lot of fun. We have some
time right now.
Well, there you go.
Well,
There's the next 4 minutes.
Yeah, so we got camps, which are incredible. We have captain's camp, that we invite certain sports teams to come, and they get to be with their team and learn leadership qualities and hear about Jesus and get impacted. And then we have another leadership camp in the summer for high school and middle school, for girls and for guys. But it's just, that's kind of what we do. We we go to practices during the summer. We go to kind of just hang out with the guys, hang out with the girls. But yeah.
So how much will you be at camp? Will you be staying? Are you like a camp counselor and you're there all summer?
So, being new and stuff, I don't really know exactly what my role will look like, but all I know is I'll just be doing
all the
everything.
things. So where is camp? Where do they hold camp?
Yes. So we hold camp in different places.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah, it's based like church camp, but then they like the leaders camp. I remember my son going to that. That's really awesome, because they take the leaders from the team. Like the coaches kind of work with you guys a little bit, they try to send you to that because it's a different level. And then they have team camps, and then they also have like team competition camps. You know, like
we have basketball, wrestling.
Fun.
Yeah.
Jackson University is a place where you can go to, and I'll tell you right now, if you're an athlete out there, Jacob McDonald, point guard for White House. Let's see, he's about to go into a senior year, so 4 years ago, goes and works a basketball FCA camp. It's where kids could just go, and so Jacob is a counselor. The coach from Johnson University sees him, and that's how he gets his scholarship.
Oh. Ooh. I mean, you got to get yourself out there. You got to put yourself out there.
Well,
I love it. That's
as
very
Jordan
cool.
would say, look at God.
Oh, yeah.
Look at God.
Well, there you go. It's like,
It's like,
so you're like, no, it wasn't him putting him out there. It's just God putting them together. Thank you, brother.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. What a great thing. Well, you have fun at camp. When's your first camp? When have you got a report for camp?
Soon.
Soon, I was gonna say it's coming up.
30th, either 31st or 30th. I think
Yeah.
it's 30th and 31st, and we have the 1st and the 2nd.
Yeah, because the girl who took over for me at the church. She has 2 young ones, and so she's gonna be at our church camp, and I'm gonna cover for her. And I know at church, and I know that's like the first week in June, if I'm not mistaken. It's coming up in a
He
minute.
doesn't know what he's doing Friday. Come on now.
Ha, 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 ha.
Yes.
How old are you?
I'm 22.
22.
So
22. I'm telling you. Oh my! Do you remember being 22? I'm a lot older than you. So man, it is it's all good.
I just wasn't doing great things.
Well, I understand. I had a minute too. I admire you, young man.
well, thanks.
Oh, I admire you. I grew up in it and didn't know what I had. You know, I took it for granted, the faith walk, and walked away from it for a while. And there's a lot of reasons, but God was always with me, and I always knew it. But it took me a while to kind of come back full circle. So thank you for all you do. Sponsor this man. Tell them how they can find you and be one of your sponsors.
yes. What's the website again?
FCA.org
Yes.
/Jordan Martin.
Yes.
There you go. Go and be a contributor. And if you wanted, everybody is always saying, what can we do? There you go. That's what you can do. You can sponsor a
And
young
be a
man.
character coach. Be a character coach.
And you can be a character coach. I have committed myself. My husband's going to wring my neck. Well, you need to do it too, honey.
And if you're a company out there right now and you're like, hey, we want to support, contact Andrew, contact Jordan, contact
Absolutely.
you, and you like that, write a check and send a whole team to camp.
Oh,
Yes.
wonderful. Send the
Yes,
team to camp.
yes.
I love that. That's
Yes.
a wonderful idea.
Yes.
Get ready.
Yes,
May's
yes,
going to be
yes.
fun. Fellowship of Christian Athletes is going to be busy out there because it's tournament time. So much to do. And then camp coming up. Man, you want to be a part of it. Be a character coach. Be a part of it. Be a part of the solution. Always be ready to give a reason for the hope that you have. But do it in gentleness and respect and love. Love you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank
you
you.
for joining us here on One Street Over. This is 1100 WSGI. God bless.